Every day, we are bombarded by a chaotic flood of digital noise, doom scrolling through a relentless cycle of panic and baseless predictions. To find out what is actually happening, we have to strip away the social media hysteria. That brings us to the first volume of the AI Economy Dashboard, covering the second quarter of 2026. This report operates on a strict methodology. It ignores speculative consultant forecasts entirely. Instead, it relies exclusively on transparent, auditable public data, including corporate filings, capital expenditure reports, quarterly earnings calls, and official WARN employment notices. The dashboard has one ironclad rule. It tracks where corporate restructuring and technological investments are happening at the exact same time, but it explicitly refuses to claim that AI directly caused any specific job loss. When you look strictly at these observable metrics, the popular narrative of an economic apocalypse simply vanishes. What emerges is a highly measurable structural shift, a phase the data defines as the Great Reallocation. We can see the scale of this shift first in the capital pipeline. In just the first half of 2026, major corporate leaders allocated an estimated $330 to $360 billion specifically toward AI infrastructure. This money is pouring directly into hyperscale cloud projects and the construction of hundreds of new data centers, along with tens of billions of dollars in physical GPU procurement. But corporate labor markets cannot adapt at the exact speed of this capital allocation. In the first half of the year, there were roughly 444,000 announced job reductions across all sectors in the United States, with the technology industry accounting for the largest share at roughly 124,000. This chart shows these two forces moving side by side, $340 billion in infrastructure spending scaling up, while hundreds of thousands of workforce reductions track upward. But critically, just because these metrics move simultaneously doesn't prove a direct causal line. This massive spending paired with significant reductions is the core signature of a reallocation event. Capital is urgently moving to build the new system, while the legacy system scales back. Human labor isn't evaporating. Rather, the actual daily functions of work are aggressively specializing. This diagram breaks down roles under pressure versus those in demand. 5 specialized engineering fields like machine learning, cloud, and cybersecurity are rapidly expanding. On the side, demand is dropping in 10 routine groups, specifically administrative operations, routine coding, and manual data entry. Technology was simply the leading indicator for this transition. The restructuring patterns have now moved far past Silicon Valley software firms. 8 traditional sectors, including banking and healthcare, retail, and logistics, show the same shifting hiring dynamics. We can observe the physical side of this diffusion in heavy industry, with the manufacturing sector acting as a measurable baseline for operational restructuring. The technology sector may have started the trend, but the diffusion phase into the broader physical economy is fully underway. While the restructuring spans multiple industries, it is entirely isolated geographically. The impacts are not evenly distributed across the country. A full 3/4 of all affected workers in these recent WARN notices are concentrated within just 10 specific states. California remains the absolute primary hub driving these metrics, dominating the reallocation of both capital and engineering talent. Further up the coast, the Pacific Northwest serves as a secondary epicenter, with Washington state playing an outsized role in cloud and infrastructure growth. The data shows this concentration expanding outward to eastern state economies as well, with regions like Virginia becoming critical command centers for new infrastructure. The emerging economy is not everywhere. Instead, the rapid movement of capital and labor is locked into a remarkably small number of hyper-localized regional strongholds. The analysis of quarterly earnings calls and company filings reveals a shift in corporate mindset. Leadership has moved past the phase of speculative experimentation. Corporate communications now emphasize productivity, efficiency, and organizational redesign as the primary goals for AI integration. Vast amounts of capital and specialized labor are being forcibly realigned to construct a massive new infrastructure layer. Surviving this transition means abandoning the digital panic entirely. The only way to understand where the market is going is to meticulously track the hard metrics, the subtle shifts in job definitions, and the weekly filings of official WARN notices. The second quarter of 2026 simply sets the baseline. Moving forward, this kind of transparent, auditable data will be the only reliable map for navigating exactly where the economy goes next.